This is the 1030 Edge, colloquially known as the Edge 1030. This device has been out probably about 4 years, moving probably towards 5. I'm still using this device. I do also have a 1040 Edge, but the reason I have that 1040 Edge is because my 1030 died on me. And when I say it died, it basically just cut out for no apparent reason. It became frozen, refused to move, and decided not to go further until I reset it. I did a hard reset on this, and of course I was told that I would not lose all of my valuable information. I did lose that information, unfortunately. A little frustrated about it because I had almost 25,000 miles worth of bike riding on this device. And it basically, the indication was that, yeah, it'll reset the hard boot. You had to go back in and add your any external programs onto the device, which was understandable. But this device not only lost all of that valuable information, it did say it did do what it said it would do by preserving some of your information. So it did preserve maybe, I want to say 1/100th of a percent of the information that was actually on the device. This device is somewhat different from a 1040, but in a lot of ways the same. I think if you're looking to determine whether or not you currently have a 1040, or excuse me, a 1030, and you want to go to a 1040, I would say I would have to think twice about that, because they did allow for quite a bit of updates that were introduced to the 1030 Plus, and some minor ones that went to the 1040. But for the most part, unless you're buying a 1040 Solar, you pretty much got the same device. Sure, they changed the interface, so you get a different presentation when you turn your device on. It does give you some additional information. In other words, you have a more of a up and down menu presentation, as opposed to this one here. It's static. You've got those 4 buttons in relationship to navigation, training, history, and I believe it's stats. And of course, that little blue button there, that button you push will take you to your fields that you've indicated. I believe this device has the ability to address, I want to say, about 10 different fields per page. But I never really use those. I mean, it's kind of bizarre that you don't use them, but they're there. The reason I don't use them is because I tend to use a lot of the programs that are external programs that give you so much more information. As you can see, I was going to show you one of them here, but as you can see, it has crashed. And this has been happening quite a bit on this device ever since I got it. I don't know why. My guess is, I'm in the computer industry for a living, computer and finance, and basically I believe what's going on here is because the memory that they provide with these devices is so low. It's just ridiculous. And I think the computer itself just has a hard time struggling trying to determine what to do, and it just crashes. As you can see, that's my next program I had there. That's crashed. That one there is basically a little mistake I made. I had another program there and it crashed, and I basically just held it too long and it flipped to another screen. This is the third one here that's crashed. Fourth one crashed. Fifth one crashed. Sixth one crashed. So I've got like maybe total of 10 different programs on there that I'm not even able to use because they crash. Every time I turn on this device, I have to literally download the programs every single time just to go for a ride. And I'm a daily rider. So what I've decided to do at this point is I think I'm just going to wipe all of the programs off and hope that just one of the 10 that I do use will remain on the computer. That's kind of bizarre, though. You have the ability, it has memory. The memory wasn't full. It was like 80%. But I don't know what else to do because I've already lost all my information. Yes, I have a 1040. I keep that on my other bike. I tend not to ride that during this time of the year because the weather starts to change. And other thing is I have to, this with my primary training bike, I tend to change the wheels on it. I go from carbon to aluminum in the winter, fall periods because the roads are not as soft. They're pretty hard because of the temperatures. And then basically, you never know what's going to happen with the weather. This past weekend, 30 degrees. Saturday, and I want to say 29. Sunday, and by the time I finish my 60-mile ride, it's usually maybe 40 something or whatever have you, but I have to get out there super early to avoid traffic. And outside of that, there's just really nowhere where I live to ride a bike unless you use some kind of a trail. And I haven't done trail since I was probably really young. So I tend to use the streets. It's very dangerous. I agree. I would not recommend it. Don't do it, especially without a helmet. Maybe some knee pads because, any falls out there, it's just dangerous. And I've had a couple of spills that were automobile induced. And I got to tell you, I was in the hospital there for a minute in one of those circumstances. And it took me a long time to recover because I had a slight neck injury, and it probably took a year before my neck got back to normal. But, my thing was the passion for riding. I was out there riding with a brace on my neck. So, trying to speed up the process. But at the same time, if you do decide to get out there, be careful. That's all I can tell you. This is not really a gripe about the Garmin bike computers. It's just they can be so much better. This screen that just popped up here, your menu, it's the same activity, sensor, safety, the same thing you get on your 1040. They just moved a couple of things around. It's I call it the old Microsoft theology where you move or change a couple of things in the appearance and maybe add another whistle or a bell to it. And basically you tell them it's new, and you're really just adding an additional asset to an already existing system. But for some reason, we believe that for some odd reason or another, whatever is created is better. But a lot of time it's all the same. I can't really show you a whole lot with this right now because, like I said, majority of my programs on here have crashed. You have your navigation. This is a screen here where you could actually, I think I've got like 9 different fields on it. You can put up to 10, I believe. Um, like I said, I don't use these screens that often. Power phase screen, your elevation, I use those. But the screens that come with the device, I don't even use. But as you can see, the screen that's on there now is another rendition of one that has crashed. And I'm not feeling a whole lot comfortable about that. But hey, it's better than nothing, I guess. When it works, it works. I suspect this computer, even though the battery still works pretty good, it may have had its day. I don't know, but that just seems kind of bizarre. When you look at this, it looks like a brand new bike computer. It's never been in a crash. It still has a little spindle at the bottom. I don't know how much longer that's going to last, because I'm getting to the point now I hate to really take it off the bike, but I have to take it off the bike because sometimes I stop for a cafe or something. And you don't want to leave this on your bike because, believe me, it will be gone. It's just the world we live in nowadays. Yeah, it's got an alarm on it, but, by the time you get out there, whoever was trying to take it, it's gone. It's plastic. The 1040 I purchased has what looks like some composite of aluminum or whatever have you, and they say it may not wear out. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look that sturdy on the other device. This device here, I think, will last you for a few years, couple of years. But, anything outside of 3 or 4 years, you probably should be looking to think that it's probably going to break. And it's kind of a shame because it doesn't allow for adding a new one on it. You literally have to do some kind of a makeshift system that deteriorates its appearance just to get it on your bike. And that's unfortunate. There should be some screws in there. You should be able to just pull those things in and, screw them in and out or whatever have you, because they will break. I've got an older device. It's not a Garmin, but I thought it would never break. And that was my go-to computer for a long time. But sure enough, it broke. It did break, and now it's worthless. And although the computer still works, it's worthless unless I put that makeshift thing on it. And the device is kind of small, so it looked kind of ridiculous. So I didn't do anything with it. I just went and got this. But I'm really trying to get out of this obsolescent type system that they expect that you're just going to buy another one because something breaks. I did buy the 1040. It's on the chopping slot now because I'm already seeing problems with that already, and it's under warranty. So I'm really considering taking that back. But I just thought I'd give you guys some idea of what to expect if you decide to go with a 1040. In my opinion, if you've got a 1030, keep it. Yeah, the 1050's out there, but there's really not a whole lot of difference between these computers other than maybe memory. And they say speed, but I put the 1040 and the 1030 in a speed test, and I can't really tell the difference. Seems the same. Anyway, stay out there, be safe, and thank you so much for listening to my YouTube channel.